Hey everybody, this is Sir Drinks Live back again with a wonderful, super wet on the Wolf. It is 7:44 a.m. on Wednesday, August 9th, 2017 of our Lord Dylan Moran. Couple of things in this. This is going to be more of a vlog, but it is also a tale of Gin. I wanted to talk about frustration with communication when it comes with animals. Straight off, first thing, everybody needs to understand you are the boss. Doesn't mean you gotta be a dick. The same thing with dealing with people. If employers or just friends or whatever, it's like you are the boss. Unless, of course, you know, you're not the boss, and then of course you're the employee, and you know. But for the purposes of this conversation, dealing with an animal, you are the boss. You are the alpha and the omega, and that has to be that is important. And you have to understand that. And you have to be able to take care of that responsibility, because just because you're the boss doesn't mean all you get to do is tell people what to do. You're the only one that's going to clean up the shit. And I say that not trying to be, look at someone in my life, there we go. Not trying to be crude, but literally, you are the one that deals with taking them out, going to the bathroom, making sure they're clean, cleaning the house, you know, for them, making sure their toys are all good to go. When they destroy them, gotta throw them away. Gotta make sure you don't leave stuff out that they can chew on, especially in the puppy stages. I mean, you are the boss, which requires a responsibility. Now, animals got tude. Animals have tude. And whether you humanize them in your mind, demonize them in your mind, it's important to remember that animals have the tude, and it differs for situation and per animal. You can have an animal that's a lot more laid back than most. You can have one that's wound up real bad, and they have to learn as well as you. But like, for example, rainy days for animals, especially inside animals, is kind of a pain in the ass. Cats, they don't care. They piss and shit inside. I really need to watch my mouth, I'm sorry. They go to the bathroom inside. And that's one of the things is, hey, you know what? We have a dog and it's raining, you gotta take them out. Umbrella, or if you don't mind getting wet, get on out there, walk them, make sure they pee and poo. And give them a little extra time, unless it's coming down pretty bad. If they pee and then they poo, good to go. If they don't do it enough, like for example, I'm gone most of the day, so that's 9 hours for my dog, and he's pretty good about it. We have some issues occasionally, but you know what? It's part of raising a dog, you know, raising a pup, or having a pet in general. But when he goes out to go to the bathroom, he pees for a pretty good while. Now, lately he's actually peeing for a little bit, pausing, and then peeing a little bit more. So, you kind of have to gauge it. And, like, for me, I live out a bit in the country, you know, maybe 3 or 4 miles out of town, and I've got a pretty decent amount of acreage to kind of just walk around and stuff. So, I usually leave him off the leash, and we go for, like, about a mile walk. And, that's just, like, 0.6 to 0.8, depending on how I take the trails. And he does pretty good. But occasionally he gets a little bit of tude where he don't want to go inside. And normally that tude comes, not at that particular point, like when I get home, we walk. That's usually the rule. You know, I get up in the morning, right before I go to work, we walk. Right when I get home, we walk. Every couple hours after that, after I get home, we go outside. But it's kind of a little bit of a walk, but more, sometimes I'll just stand on the porch and let him do his business. And sometimes he goes and wanders off, and that's something you have to control, something you have to handle. Now, if you're living in town, you're living in an apartment, you can't do that. So you've got to walk them, and you've got to be prepared to take care of that. If you're in town, you have a dog, you have to be prepared to take care of your animal. That includes the business. Apartment complexes kind of have, a lot of them have set up little bags and little disposal areas, and those are really cool. Some don't do that, though. That's your responsibility as mama and papa of the pup. Now for me, we get acreage, we walk around, but every time he ends up running off, and he can get, like, if he doesn't come back when I've called him, usually I give him about 2 or 3 times. I do a count of 1, 2, 3 at the end of that. That's kind of like my limit. If he's not back by 3, I go get my shoes and I go get him. And you have to gauge your response. You can be pretty pissed off because he's like, you know, what are you doing? This is simple. I've usually give you like 5 minutes. You know, you've got rain to run around. Well, you know, you've got to set the limits. And so sometimes I might, for example, like I said, he decides he wants to be out longer. Okay, fine. He comes back. I hook him up to the outside. I've got a 30-foot length cable. He's got an outside kennel that has water. So I hook him up to that, and he can roam around in that area. I am working on on planning a backyard that would be a decent amount of space for him to just kind of run around. But in the end, that's kind of, I'm going to give you all the space you need. And if he wants to come inside, he lets me know. And a lot of times when he's been on that outside cable for 30 minutes or so, he's ready to come back inside. And like I said, you've got to deal with Toot. And like, for example, getting socks and shoes on the morning is equivalent to you not letting your children get in the car because you're going to Six Flags. He literally sits on my feet, tries to, or wants to play, but wants to distract me from putting on my socks and shoes. He doesn't go after my socks and shoes, but he likes to. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, play with me. Do something. Just don't do whatever you're doing there, because he knows I'm going to get going and we're going to go do something. But I'm also going to leave. Smart, but you are the boss, so you have to decide how much of that you want to deal with, because eventually, you know, he's going to do something that's going to annoy you. You're going to see he's going to step on your feet, which he does a lot, but that's kind of the situation. You've got to know the boss, how to be the boss, and sometimes it's harder than others, but best thing you can do is, well, do what you can, and just remember that you are the boss. You also have to be a boss. You have to, have responsibilities. You have to take care of your animal the best way that you can, and sometimes you're gonna screw that up. Sometimes you are really gonna fuck that up. But I think if you're coming from a really good place and you're trying and you're learning and make mistakes, you'll be okay. But yeah, so dude, I was gonna say this is more of a vlog, but just being exhausted from doing stuff, I had to drink something. Start drinking a lot. Come on. But being exhausted and not having a lot, going on for yourself, just because you're not going out, running around, going to dinners with people or parties and stuff, doesn't make you a boring person. But what you need to try to do is to get out and do something, find a hobby, because there's playing video games is not a big deal, and there's a stigma around just playing video games or sitting at home. And the thing is that you do need to try to do something else besides just sitting on your ass playing a video game, and that was a stigma. But when you come to a stopping point, go do something. Go do something else. So. Okay. But just let everybody know, you are the captain of your own ship. And that's really important. You have to realize that sometimes you got to delegate, the authority, friends and family and stuff like that. And sometimes you got to lay down the law, like I said, with your animals and stuff like that. But as long as you're fair, you're going to be doing okay. So, anyway. But at this point, I'm going to go inside and grab myself a drink and head to work. Because it's about 8 till. So, but hopefully it's helped a little bit. And, just sometimes just listening to somebody talk about their issues or talk about the things that they think are important kind of helps people out. And if that has, that's awesome. I really hope that is something that I do. And I said, this is me wishing you health, wealth, love, with enough time and gusto to enjoy it all. Later, guys.